We saw a man get hit by a car, but there was no man. The Glitch in the Matrix subreddit told me this would be a good place to share this, so here we go. So this happened a few years ago during the day, while my mom and I were in the car. I've been looking for an explanation for a few years now but still don't have one. We were driving on a 50-mile-per-hour road back home with one car in front of us when we both saw a man walking towards the road to cross it. As we kept looking at the man who at this point was standing on the road, we started to scream at each other since the car in front of us did not see this man, although it was around 2 p.m. on a sunny day. The car in front of us just kept driving, and at that point my mom parked our car on the side of the road looking for what we expected to be a very injured man. Needless to say, we were both shocked when there was no man to be found at all. The car in front of us should have full-on hit this man with a speed of at least 50 miles an hour, but somehow this mystery man vanished. We looked around in the area for a while to see if we could find someone that looked like this man, but there was no one. There is no logical reason why my mom and I both saw the exact same man walking, but there wasn't anyone there. Just thinking about this yesterday, and it happened 25 years ago. I was driving in a small city in upstate New York for no reason at all. I stopped at a small convenience store. I even asked myself why I stopped. So I bought a water, even though I had some in the truck, and went on my way. I remember being confused as to what was happening. It was just a strange feeling. After I left the store, I came to an intersection where the car in front of me was turning left. I looked around and went to pass on the right, when crash. I felt the impact. I was thrown forward, but as I looked around nothing had happened. I was so confused. I know I was just in an accident. My heart pounding, I went on my way, still dazed. About a mile up the road there was a head-on collision. I was one of the first on the scene. This was not the road or area where a collision of this type could easily happen. Sometimes I think that I missed being in that collision because I stopped at the store for no reason, but somehow still felt the impact of the accident that I was supposed to be in. The time a ghost couple helped me reach the office on time. I have had many unexplained experiences in my life, but a few I know for sure were paranormal in nature. These are the details of one of those encounters. This was in October 2019, right before the pandemic hit. I had recently started a new job, but the office was 3 hours away from my home, so my friend sublet his studio apartment to me just 40 minutes away from my office. I planned to stay in the studio 3 days a week, and would commute to my other home where my husband was for the rest of those days. So this studio was locked for almost 1 year at this point, hence I cleaned it every evening till midnight after coming back from the office. The first week was very exhausting and dirty, so I paid no attention to any oddities, but would still feel panic and anxiety as the night grew. By the end of the second week the house was almost set, and this particular night I was done before midnight, so I finished dinner, lit a cigarette and sat on the couch facing the front door, that was open. The studio was on the first floor, and between 2 other studios. Both my neighbors used to work the night shift and lived alone. So as I am puffing away at my cigarette, pondering on the day's events, a cardboard box full of books, laid next to the door, goes up an inch and drops right in front of my eyes. My logical side of the brain says maybe something was stuck under it, hence the box moved, so I decide to roll up a joint and observe if something else happened. As soon as I am stoned and relaxed, I hear music, laughter, running, and chatting in the apartment to the left of mine. Now this is a Thursday night, so I peep to check if I missed someone walking past my door to my neighbors, and I see a dark end of the alley and no one home. I chalk it up to me being stoned and sit on the couch again. Now another 5 minutes passes and the party gets louder, but the running is now from my left wall to the ceiling, then to my right wall. And this goes on. By this point it is 1:30 a.m. and I have work the next morning, but I find no courage to go to bed as there is this heaviness inside the apartment. Panic and anxiety are all over me, but I don't see a reason for it. Finally I puff another joint, and say out loud, "You want to party? Go ahead. I have work tomorrow, I will sleep." Being tired and scared, I pass out with the bathroom lights on. Next, I feel in the darkness someone sitting on me, a young guy, and right in front of the bathroom and to my right a girl standing. I realize I'm having very intense sleep paralysis. The guy is laughing and the girl is asking him to stop. I am struggling to move my body, but when I gave up struggling, I wake up to see the time to be 4:30 a.m. At this point I jump, switch on all the lights and call the friend who sublet the studio to me. As he picks up, I say, "How do I get rid of the sleep paralysis?" I knew he had a history of sleep paralysis in the same house. He told me to find the iron dagger under the bed and place it under my pillow. I did it and felt some peace but no sleep. I sat down on the couch and openly spoke and said, "I understand this is your home, and you don't want me here. I don't want me here either, so 3 days in the week I will come and sleep here. Push me out at 8 a.m. every day so I can go to work and you can have the house to yourselves." I finished my smoke, removed the dagger and slept off. The next incident is of sleep paralysis, and I see someone pushing me from my bed to the door, and the door shuts behind me loudly. The sound woke me up, and when I checked the time it was 8 a.m. This dream went on for 2 months and at 8 a.m. sharp every day, without fail. Then the pandemic hit and I came back home, vacating the studio. Thanks to the ghost couple, I reached my office right on time for the next 2 months. I just started a job at a bank which was originally a government building, then Civil War hospital. So, I've had a few paranormal experiences in my life thus far. Some frightening stuff, but nothing that was actually dangerous in retrospect. I recently started a security job in a bank. I work overnight and monitor the entirety of the building interior as well as patrol of the exterior. The building is 6 stories with only the bottom one actually being the functional bank. The upper floors are mainly untouched and outdated offices, with a few being rented by businesses. No one whatsoever is in the building at night time, and surveillance doesn't cover the upper floors because they're so well separated from the bank. While doing my rounds of the upper levels and checked every unlocked room, bathrooms, closets, storage spaces, etc. Didn't find anything, as usual. But while I was on the 4th floor, I heard someone call my name and heard a door close. Of course, I was freaked out. But I pushed through the fear and tried to stay rational. I did a second sweep of the floor and again, found nothing. Then I got really scared. I got to the stairwell on that floor and opened the door to listen. Stairwells echo really badly, so we're taught to be silent and listen for intruders. While I'm standing there, with my head peeked through the door, I don't hear anything. Until I do. 2 men's voices came from the stairwell, I'm assuming up it. I announced myself and started heading up, but found nothing and didn't hear any doors open or close, which I should have. Then I'm at the last flight up to the roof and I hear loud steps running up the stairs. I'm absolutely terrified and prepare myself for a physical altercation. Weapon at the ready, I wait for the perp to come to me because I'm on high ground. The steps sound close enough that I should be able to see the person causing them, but I don't. Then I hear labored breathing with the steps and still see nothing. Next thing I know, I am physically pushed back. I didn't fall very far. More like collapsed into the steps behind me. The sounds continue to the roof door, and to my shock it opens with a bang and then shuts. I actually saw it open and shut. It's normally locked, so I go to secure it and call the cops, but when I get to it's locked. I have absolutely no explanation for this. I've never been pushed or physically touched by an entity, and I'm shaken badly. I'm terrified of this building. I'm the first female guard they've hired. The men I've spoken to don't experience anything. The pay is too good to quit, but I'm at a loss of what to do.